Hello there. Welcome to Just the Discs. We talk about Blu-rays and 4Ks here, and for this episode, I am continuing my favorites of 2023 4Ks. I've got another Blu-ray video coming as well, but let me get into this. There's a lot to talk about, a lot that I missed, and I probably will still end up missing stuff even after going through this second round, but one I definitely should have mentioned last time is the new 4K of To Live and Die in LA. This came out from Kino Lorber this year, and of course we lost the great William Friedkin this year as well, so should have been at the top of my list. Wonderful 4K, and ports over like all kinds of features from previous releases. The Shout Factory release has the old commentary, looks great. Just one of the really solid several cop films that he made, but it's right up there for me with any of his best stuff. It's in the top 5 Friedkin films ever made. Story about a treasury man played by, of course, William Peterson, and how he's basically on a mission to get revenge for the murder of his partner at the hands of Rick Masters, played really well by the wonderful Willem Dafoe, of course. Really, really good stuff. Excellent release. Should have mentioned it. Silly of me not to. Some new stuff I just got in and just sampled, but very excited about. From Severin, we have Delamorte, a.k.a. Cemetery Man. And this is the new 4K edition. Another spectacular job. Mikel Sauvé film. Another spectacular job by Severin. This was part of their Black Friday releases. Has a really nice booklet here. And the 4K itself. Which, I mean, Severin, these guys really, I need to praise them more because they do so much. This is a 4 disc set. You have the UHD disc. Then you have 2 Blu-rays worth of special features. It says it's 6+ hours of features. And the 4th disc is the soundtrack, which is great. They include the soundtracks. I love that they do that. Not enough labels do that. I know that's not an easy thing to do, but I salute them. That's why these releases are like $55, but you're getting a lot for your money here. So the UHD disc includes a commentary by director Mikel Sauvé, and screenwriter Gianni Romoli. That's in Italian. It's subtitled. So you listen to the commentary, you watch the subtitles. So what you can't do is sometimes maybe I'll be watching a feature and I'll put on the subtitles for the movie while I'm listening to the commentary. You can't do that here. You have to, subtitles cover the Italian speaking commentary, but it's a cool commentary. Almost immediately there's some cool stuff. I was like, oh wow, that's neat. It has tons of features, including interviews with Rupert Everett and the director on the 2nd disc, and a whole bunch of other folks on the 3rd disc. Special effects artists, other cast members, cinematographer, the screenwriter, and interview with Alan Jones, author of Profondo Argento. So lots of great stuff on this. Is a killer release, and the bummer is it's not going to get to a lot of people before the end of the year. It just squeaked in at the end of the year for me. So I think it's going to miss a lot of the best of lists, and it's absolutely one of the best 4Ks of the year. No question. Cemetery Man. Great movie if you don't know it. All about a guy who works at a cemetery, played by Rupert Everett, and boy, the dead just won't stay dead, will they? And that's sort of the basis of it. But people know that movie. You don't need me to explain that movie. The movie that you might need me to explain, and that I'm still familiarizing myself with, but I'm already really impressed with, is Spider Labyrinth. Now, this is a movie that my podcast partner, Elric Kane, turned me on to. Got a really nice 4K from Severin here. Another one of the releases from Black Friday. This is a 3-disc set. Also includes a soundtrack, which is cool. And it's for more than 3 decades, a remarkable debut feature soul horror film by award-winning director Gianfranco Giagni has been one of the most elusive Italian horror titles in home video history until now. I don't think this is ever... If it's been on home video, it's not maybe VHS. I don't know. When an American professor is sent to Budapest to complete a mysterious research project, he'll become ensnared in a mind-bending web of sexual provocation, occult carnage, and arachnid havoc. Let's see. Invaluable contribution to 80s Italian horror, featuring unnerving special effects by Sergio Stivoletti, who also worked on Cemetery Man, and outstanding score by Franco Pirasanti. Now scanned in 4K from the original Vault negative at the Cinecittà with a remastered soundtrack and over 4 hours of new special features for the first time ever. One of those special features, which is pretty cool, is the 4K includes a commentary by Dr. Will Dodson, professor of rhetoric and media studies, and my friend Ryan Verrill, host of Disconnected. Their new shingle, the new business they're doing, is called Your Favorite Movie. No, shoot, I'm going to get that wrong. They say it at the beginning. I wish they should have put it in the description. But anyway, they're now doing special features. This is the first one that I've sampled, and I loved it. I was totally digging this commentary. Really well done. They definitely came prepared. I mean, not surprisingly, Ryan's a huge physical media guy, a huge appreciator of commentaries, and they really came correct. So I was really excited to hear that and to see that on this very rare movie. Interviews with the director, interviews with the screenwriter, cinematographer, and some of the cast, special effects people. It's like 6 different interviews. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're getting a lot of stuff with this movie that a lot of people haven't seen, and I'm very excited about that. It also includes I want to say it includes, no, maybe not. That included a booklet, but it doesn't. But regardless, super nice release. Spider Labyrinth from Severin. Then we have, let's do this, some imports from Arrow. We have The Lighthouse. This is Robert Eggers' film. His follow-up, I think his follow-up to The Witch. And I am one of those weirdos who doesn't love The Witch like everybody else. I think it's interesting, but it's not my favorite. I think this is far more fascinating and weird. The story of basically a guy getting set up with another lighthouse keeper. So it's Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe again, and the weird stuff that happens to them as they're doing their 1-month stint. 2 wikis, one inexperienced, Robert Pattinson, and the other a grizzled veteran, Willem Dafoe, arrive on a remote New England island in the 1890s for a 4-week stint maintaining the local lighthouse, but as isolation and personal differences take their toll, both men slowly succumb to their inner demons and to strange, otherworldly allure of the lighthouse itself. Featuring 2 virtuoso performances by its 2 leads, striking and period-authentic monochrome photography, beautiful black and white, which looks wonderful on this 4K. And shot through the wickedly dark humor, The Lighthouse is an intense claustrophobic experience like no other that cements Eggers' status as one of the most exciting filmmakers of our time. Yeah, it's great. And there's tons of special features, including Eggers talking about all the research that he did for this, which is absolutely intriguing as heck. It's like, I tried to think of like what to compare. It's like Eraserhead meets like The Shining, sort of, but on a lighthouse island. I don't even know how to describe it. But it's bizarre and fascinating, and the dialect is really interesting. Like, they really went for, like, you listen to Eggers talk and some of the features they interviewed, like, they read interviews with actual lighthouse keepers and sailors of the period, and so certain turns of phrase that you never hear anymore, Willem Dafoe is using, and it's just really, really great stuff. I'm a big fan. Very strange movie. Great Blu-ray, but only the UK, so you had to pick it up there. Same thing for another weird movie, 4K of Naked Lunch, David Cronenberg's film Naked Lunch. This again, Arrow, and it's from the UK version, a new 4K restoration of the original camera negative, overseen by director of photography Peter Susitsky and Cronenberg. This is based on William. Why am I blanking on all my brain cells right now? All right, we'll get to it in a second here. In a career dedicated to seeing the unseeable and filming the unfilmable, perhaps only David Cronenberg could really do justice to. William S. Burroughs' controversial novel Naked Lunch, weaving together elements of Burroughs' own remarkable biography with the content of the book. Cronenberg's film steps inside the body and mind of the author to depict the dangerous act of imagination itself from the inside out. Former junkie William Lee, that's Peter Weller, makes ends meet as an exterminator, but when his wife, Joan Judy Davis, discovers the hallucinatory properties of the powder used to kill the bugs, they become hooked and their world is changed forever. Insects speak, typewriters mutate and talk, interdimensional beings reveal themselves, identities fracture and blur. It's a crazy movie if you haven't seen it. This has got a Criterion Blu-ray, but I don't think a 4K yet. That's probably coming next year, but regardless, I do love my Arrow 4K restorations. Tons of special features, just way more than I could ever go through here. But another one where I sampled the features and I love it, and a very exciting year for Cronenberg in that he also got a 4K of Existens. This is from Vinegar Syndrome, and one of the best Vinegar Syndrome releases of the year. I should have brought it out for my last video, because it's a really, really great Blu-ray. Contains a 97-minute feature presentation in HDR, newly restored from its 35 inner positive, with the following sound options: 5.1, 2.0, brand new commentary with historian Dr. Jennifer Mormon, archival commentary with Cronenberg, archival commentary with cinematographer Peter Suschitzky, and archival commentary with visual effects supervisor Jim Isaac. Tons of great features here, and a great looking 4K, and a Blu-ray is included with this as well. But yeah, I should have mentioned this before. Just a nice book, part of the Black Friday package from Vinegar Syndrome, and a great release. Like I said, good year for Cronenberg. Next we have, back to Severin for a minute, we have The Psychic. This came out earlier this year from Severin. This, of course, Lucio Fulci's film. I think Tarantino's a fan of this one. I know Elric Kane is a fan of this one. Another one that includes a really nice book. Like it's a thin book, but it's bound, and a beautiful 4K of The Psychic. It's been called amazing, a classic, a magnificent film. It remains writer-director Lucio Fulci's ultimate giallo masterpiece. Jennifer O'Neill stars as the woman tormented by violent visions of past slayings, or are they premonitions of murder still to come? Gabrielle Frazzetti, the night porter, Mark Porrell, and Gianni Garco and Evelyn Stewart co-star in this rare, rewarding experience, co-written by Fulci, Robert Giovanti, Don't Torture a Duckling, and Dargiano Sacchetti, The Beyond, originally titled The Murder to the Tune of the Seven Black Notes, now scanned in 4K from the original negative, with over 5 hours of new special features that include the new 2021 documentary Fulci Talks. So you get a whole doc on Fulci, which is one of the reasons I got this for sure. A very cool doc. This is 4 discs. So you have your Ultra HD disc, which looks great. This is like almost Hitchcock Giallo territory for Fulci. Really, really cool movie. The Blu-rays, 2 of them, we have interviews with the screenwriters. We have select scene commentary with cinematographer Sergio Salvati, audio interview with camera operator, interview with costume designer, interview with editor, and then Fulci Talks, a 2021 documentary by Antoinetta DeLillo featuring extended interview with Fulci. That's an 83-minute doc right there. Actress interviews, actor interviews, cinematographer Fabio Frizzi interview, and then of course you have the soundtrack CD included as well here. Yeah, really cool soundtrack. Just a great Fulci film. One of the best Fulci films, like full stop, like one of the better movies he made. And I like all his stuff. I like the stuff that you wouldn't say is the best ever made. I'm just a Fulci fan, but this is a really great 4K of The Psychic from Severin. Next up, we'll jump over to Shout Studios. We have Point Break on 4K and Blu-ray. Now, the cool thing about this is it is a new scan. New master and restoration from a 2023 4K scan of the inner positive in Dolby Vision. Looks great. I'm a big fan. This is like, went from being kind of a joke movie to now what I think is sort of an action classic by Catherine Bigelow. I talked about Blue Steel in the Blu-ray video previous, so she had a couple nice releases this year, which is great. Just a great action movie, great undercover FBI agent movie trying to stop some bank robbers, the ex-presidents, Keanu Reeves, Patrick Swayze. You have Gary Busey in one of my favorite Busey roles. Lori Petty is really good in this. Really, really good stuff and still holds up. The original 4 featurettes from the Blu-ray release are included here on the Blu-ray. But that's it. So we don't get it. And those featurettes are like, they're okay. I would love a commentary. I love a more in-depth interview with Catherine Bigelow. I really think she is something incredible. And this is great. Executive produced by James Cameron. Great to have that on 4K from Shout. Another cult favorite, Clue. Getting a nice 4K from Shout Select. And this is cool. I mean, you don't need to describe Clue. You know what Clue is all about. This is a 2-disc version, new remastered 2023 4K scan of the original camera negative, and it looks better than it has before. Obviously, you've got the 3 different endings. Disc 2 has a new interview with Jonathan Lynn, the director, new interview with associate producer Jeffrey Chernov, and new interview with film music historian Daniel Schweiger about John Morris's score. So some nice new featurettes. Clue hasn't got great treatment on Blu-ray in terms of extras. It's as beloved as it is. This is the first time I think we're getting these new interviews, and it's a really good interview with Jonathan Lynn. I want to say it's like 30 minutes. But yeah, looks great. Still the classic it always was. 4K of Clue. Then we have a new one from from Ignite Films. This is Invaders from Mars. This is the 1953 original. This is the 4K. This came out this year. Really, really impressed with this, and really impressed with the company themselves for everything they put into this. This is a brand new 4K restoration of the film, restored from the original camera negative and master positives. Restored 4K original trailer, new trailer, interviews with star Jimmy Hunt, William Cameron Menzies' biographer James Curtis, and recollections of Menzies' eldest granddaughters. Featurette with the acclaimed film directors John Landis, Joe Dante, editor Mark Goldblatt, special visual effects artist from 2-time Oscar winner Robert Skotak, who's a foremost expert on the film, and enthusiast and film preservationist Scott McQueen. John Sayles' introduction from the TCM Classic Film Festival. That's really cool to have. Restored segments in 2K of the alternate international version, alternate ending extended planetarium scene, 20-page collector's booklet featuring extensive essay on the restoration process. Yeah, just really, really excited about this release and Ignite Films and what they might have in store for us in the future. Really, really good release. That's Invaders from Mars on 4K. Let's do some more stuff from Scream and Shout Factory. We have Slumber Party Massacre and Slumber Party Massacre 2, double feature in 4K. Big fan of both of these movies. They are very interesting slashers. Amy Holden Jones did the first one. Did she do the second? No, she didn't. Did she do the second one? I forget who did the second one now. But I love that we have both of them here. And new 2022 4K scan for Slumber Party Massacre. Same thing with Slumber Party Massacre 2. You have audio commentary. No, Amy Holden Jones did not do 2. Silly me. It was Deborah Brock. Commentary from Deborah Brock and commentary from Amy Holden Jones and some actors. Basically porting over the previous stuff from some of these that Shout has put up, Scream has put up before, but I was very excited to get these on 4K. Good stuff. Slumber Party Massacre 1 and 2. Upgrade. Lee Winnell's film. Really, really solid. Science fiction. Terminator-y. I mean, it's a great movie. Like, this is just a movie that one of the reasons I would pick this is because it's just a movie that I love. This got a nice Blu-ray release from Second Sight. but this 4K is even better. New 2023 4K master includes the audio commentary with director Leigh Whannell, not action, not sci-fi, more. Interview with Leigh Whannell, permission granted. Interview with producer Kyle DeFresny, future noir. Interview with cinematographer Stefan Duschio. Hacking upgrade. Interview with editor Andy Canny. Art of fighting without fighting. Interview with fight choreographer Chris Weir. I think some of these are from the second sight or some other Blu-ray, but the new scan looks great, and I just love this movie. After his wife is killed during a brutal mugging that also leaves him paralyzed, Gray Trace, Logan Marshall, is approached by a billionaire inventor with an experimental cure that will upgrade his body. The cure, an artificial intelligence implant called STEM, gives Gray physical abilities beyond anything he's ever experienced and the capacity to relentlessly claim vengeance against those who murdered his wife and left him for dead. And it kind of goes from there. Really great movie. If you haven't seen Upgrade, awesome stuff. 4K of Upgrade. Just a couple more. Here's another Scream Factory I just got. The Dead Zone, Cronenberg. Again, like I said, killer year for Cronenberg on 4K. This looks wonderful. This is a new 2023 transfer from the original camera negative in Dolby Vision, and they've ported over a ton of features, including a new audio commentary with Mike Flanagan, Eric Vespi, and Scott Wampler of the King Cast. I love that they're getting those guys. They did the Silver Bullet 4K as well, and there's just a ton of other great features of this, one of the great Stephen King adaptations, one of the great Cronenberg studio films. Just fantastic. The Dead Zone. I'm not going to go too deep on that. Okay, a few more interesting things here. This is in the little crazier category, but this is one of my favorites from this year, and that's Primal Rage on 4K from Vinegar Syndrome. This is an animal attack movie with a baboon. The science department at Florida University has been working on a wonder drug for brain injuries, but has accidentally created something else, a rage virus capable of turning those infected into mindless killers, complete with superhuman strength. Meanwhile, two student journalists, Chad and Frank, are on the hunt for the story that will lead them to national attention. After stumbling upon a biology lab responsible for conducting experiments and its large stock of test animals, the reporters believe they've landed a potentially topical subject. Inhumane animal testing. Deciding to break in at night to get some exclusive photos, Frank is attacked by a baboon, which unbeknownst to him has been infected with the virus. Now with a deadly substance flowing through his body, Frank slowly begins to transform into a bloodthirsty monster and the shell of a man, and it's not long before anyone he encounters starts getting ripped to shreds. But even worse, the virus proves contagious. So it's a virus movie. It's a angry people raging movie, has a really killer Halloween dance scene. Just a nutty film, but one that I definitely enjoy, and this is a really nice 4K. Newly scanned and restored in 4K from its original 35 camera negative, and includes Baboon Bite Maniacs, 86 minutes, brand new documentary with the cast and crew making of sort of thing, and a video interview with producer Bill Immerman, originally shot in 2020. But just really happy to get Primal Rage on 4K. It's a blast. It's nuts. What am I going to tell you? Another one that's kind of cool, but had a Blu-ray. Now it has a 4K. This is from AGFA, and it's Effects. I want to say the film was from like 70... When is it from? 74? No, 1980. My bad. So this is a fascinating movie. Really fascinating. I want to say this is the first 4K from AGFA, but I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. Cobbled together with loose change by George Romero's friends, Effects is a mesmerizing DIY frightmare that no one talks about, but everyone should. A group of coked-up filmmakers, including Tom Savini, Joe Pilato, and John Harrison, gather in Pittsburgh to make a slasher called Duped, the snuff movie. As filming begins and, quote, accidents happen, it's clear that something isn't right and no one can be trusted. A gritty melting pot of De Palma-like shocks and Carpenter-esque tension. Effects is a meta-enhanced takedown on the philosophy of horror that doubles as a sleazy, chilling movie on its own. AGFA is honored to present the worldwide UHD debut of Effects, newly remastered in 4K from its original long-lost 16mm camera negative. Includes an archival commentary with producer star John Harrison, director Justin Nelson, and editor Pasquale Buba, as well as Zoom Q&A with John Harrison, Dusty Nelson, and the AGFA team, After Effects documentary with commentary, early short films, booklet with Dusty Nelson interview, and more. So the Blu-ray that's included has a lot more extras, but this looks really good from a 16mm source, and just a fascinating, under-talked about movie. That's effects. I'm just going to throw this in there. Red Eye got a Blu-ray, a 4K from Paramount, and I just have a new appreciation for it. It had a nice double bill at the New Beverly this year with Sunshine, Cillian Murphy appreciation kind of thing because of Oppenheimer, and it's just a really solid thriller, you know, with Rachel McAdams and Cillian Murphy, mostly on a plane, and then kind of off the plane, still trying to sort stuff out. Commentary by editor Patrick Lussier, filmmaker focus Wes Craven and Red Eye, new Wes Craven in his own words. Commentary by Wes Craven, producer Marianne Madalena, and editor Patrick Lussier, and making of Red Eye as well. And Wes Craven, a new kind of thriller. Really good looking scan of the movie. And yeah, I was just happy to see Red Eye get a 4K. So I wanted to throw that in the mix. And then a couple more things here. I'm sure some people have talked about this. The Hitchcock Classics Collection, Volume 3. Some less popular releases from him in this one, but some big ones in Rope, The Man Who Knew Too Much, and Frenzy. Torn Curtain and Topaz, I think, are the ones that get a little less love. I'm excited to rewatch those. I haven't seen them in years. One of them I remember being kind of boring, but maybe I'd not feel the same way now. But Rope, you know, obviously an interesting experiment. Mostly supposed to be one take, but obviously there's the camera, you know, going in on people's backs and pulling out. And so, you know, they only had a certain amount of film magazine to run, so they couldn't do it all in one. But Leopold and Loeb's story about two gay men who murder a friend of theirs and then put him in a box and try to serve dinner to his parents and his prospective girlfriend or fiance and their old teacher, played by Jamie Stewart, who starts to figure out something's up. And then Frenzy, maybe the raciest, you know, it's an R-rated Hitchcock movie and him doing some really darker stuff. Fascinating, a little clunky to me, but still really fun. And The Man Who Knew Too Much is just great. Wonderful performance from Peter Lorre. These 4Ks look great. They come with digital codes, and all the extras from the previous releases are ported over. So definitely worth getting. I've got all three of these now. I couldn't not get that one. Good stuff. And then Hitchcock adjacent, we have the Psycho collection. This is the limited Psycho collection box set from Arrow. This is an import from the UK. Has a cool sort of slip plastic case that you take off the box that has all the extra features on it, and there are just tons and tons of stuff. So you have Psycho, Psycho 2, Psycho 3, and Psycho 4, The New Beginning, all in 4K with tons of extras. And this limited edition box has a like bound book that it's a little tight in the box. I'll say that. But it is a full-on book. I see they're taking pre-orders now for the standard edition, but it will not include this book, which is pretty cool because it's got tons of, you know, things about all four films, liner notes from the soundtracks, interviews. I mean, this is just really cool stuff. So I had to pick this one up. I initially was like, I don't know how much I love Psycho 4 or Psycho 3. I'm kind of iffy on that one too, but I'm coming around to it. But I love Psycho. Obviously, I love Psycho 2. Psycho 2, Richard Franklin's film, is fantastic. But that was one of the reasons I wasn't sure. I was like, do I really want to get this for Psycho 2 really in 4K? Because I already had Psycho in 4K. But, you know, I think I'm going to come around to both 3 and 4. And so I'm glad I picked this up. Arrow does an incredible job, and it's definitely one of the best box sets of the year, so I should have included it before. And lastly, I've seen this mentioned in several other videos, but I had to throw it in here. This is Showgirls. This is a 4K from Vinegar Syndrome, and it's a really nice 4K, I gotta say. Comes with a book and a new documentary. The NC-17 cut of Showgirls presented in HDR, newly restored from an existing studio master with the following 5.1, 2.0, and the greatest movie ever made commentary with director David Schmader. Also included 2 Blu-ray discs. Let's see here. More Vegas Than Vegas, interview with director Paul Verhoeven. You Gotta Gamble If You're Gonna Win, interview with screenwriter Joe Esterhaus. All That Glitters, filming Showgirls, interview with cinematographer Jost Vacano and performance lighting designer Peter Morse. Rhythm and Chaos. Let's see here. Maybe I'm wrong about the full documentary, but they have a ton of new interviews here, so that's great. But really, really solid and good-looking 4K of Showgirls that I, shouldn't neglect to mention because it is a classic in its own right and a movie that I do enjoy. I sometimes have to go a few years between watching it, but it was definitely one that I was like, well, I can't miss that. So that is Showgirls. And that'll do it for this second round of 4Ks. Look forward tomorrow to my second round of Blu-ray favorites of 2023. And thank you so much for all your feedback on these best of year videos. They take a while to put together and a while to record, and your appreciation means a lot. So thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.